2025 season is making history. And what just happened with our rookie has the entire DMV running their mouth. While this organization keeps cooking up something special, there are three stories right now shaking up Washington. First off, a seventh rounder just locked in a multi-million-dollar deal that absolutely nobody saw coming. Second, one of our coordinators is turning this defensive line into a brick wall after everyone wrote them off. Third, Dan Quinn might just pick up the phone to call up an old buddy and bring in a key piece to help Jaden Daniels out. If you missed this, you're going to regret it. Stick around to the end because what's coming will blow your mind. Let me hit you with something that has everybody in the DMV completely losing IT right now. Jakery Krosky Merritt, our rookie running back out of the 7th round. The same dude nobody thought would make any noise this season just signed an exclusive deal with Nike. Yeah, that's right, Nike. Do you realize how big this is? We're talking about a dude with only 5 games in the NFL 5, and already, one of the world's biggest brands is knocking at his door. Let me break this down because this story is just too good. Krosky Merritt started out at Alabama State, an FCS school where basically nobody even knew his name. 4 years down there, he picked up 1,164 yards and 13 touchdowns. Solid numbers, but nothing that turned heads. Then he hit New Mexico in 2023, and that's when things changed. The dude went off 189 carries, 1,190 yards, 17 touchdowns. Made second team All-Mountain West. People started to chatter about him. Now here's where it gets wild. He transfers to Arizona to play Power 4, but some eligibility stuff means he can only play in one single game all season. Imagine that frustration. He works all year, busts his tail, and has to just sit and watch. Most dudes would have quit. Most would say, this ain't for me, and pack it up. But Krosky Merritt isn't built like everybody else thought. Adam Peters saw something. Even though Krosky Merritt never hit the field in Arizona, even though he never got a combine invite, Peters rolled the dice in round 7. And now look at him, he's our starting running back. 43 carries for 283 yards and FOUR touchdowns in 5 games. 5 catches for 54 more yards. But the best part, the most beautiful thing in all this, is how this moment came to be when Austin Eckler tore his Achilles during the preseason. We all thought, there goes the run game. We thought no way we'd be solid without a vet carrying the load. But Krosky Merritt said, I got this, and straight up put the team on his back. His best game? Last Sunday against the Chargers in LA. If you watched that game, you know how crazy it was. We were down 10-zip. The squad looked lost. The Chargers D was eating us alive. Then Krosky Merritt showed up. 14 carries, 111 yards, TWO touchdowns. He put us ahead in the 3rd quarter, and we never looked back. That performance was legendary. That's the kind of game that carves out careers, the kind that makes brands say, yeah, we won him. Now, let me ask you, how many 7th-round picks score a Nike contract after 5 NFL games? Here's the answer, nobody. This is one of one. This dude has something special. The brand see it, the fans see it, the whole city sees it. He's got hunger. He's got heart. He's got that never quit mindset. That's the difference between good and great. Think about his journey. Unranked in high school to Alabama State. Alabama State to New Mexico. New Mexico to Arizona. Arizona to a 7th-round pick. 7th-round pick to starter. Starter to signing with Nike. Every step's a fight. An uphill battle. People doubted him at every stop. Folks said, you can't. He answered every single time with explosive games. This Nike contract isn't just about the money. It's about respect. It's about being seen. It's about proving that you can make dreams real if you grind hard enough. Krosky Merritt's on a 4-year, $4.3 million contract with the Commanders, and now he's got Nike in his corner. At just 24, the dude's building an empire already. I seriously think this is just the beginning for Krosky Merritt. If he keeps running like he did against the Chargers, the offers are going to keep rolling in. Gatorade will be calling. Under Armour is going to want in. Everybody's going to want a piece of this story. Because at the end of the day, everybody loves an underdog. Everyone loves to see someone from the bottom make it all the way to the top. For us Commanders fans, this is beautiful. After years of pain, after watching too many mediocre teams, we finally have guys making national buzz. We finally have players that brands are lining up to sponsor. We finally have a front office finding diamonds in the rough and flipping them to stars. Now here's the real question. Do you think Krosky Merritt should hang on to the starting gig when Brian Robinson gets healthy? Or is it about to become a three-back committee? Because if you ask me, this kid has absolutely earned his spot, and I don't see him giving it up easy. If all that surprised you, buckle up for this. Because while everyone was hyped about Adam Peters' offensive pickups during the offseason, one guy was grinding behind the scenes, quietly turning our team's most hated unit into a powerhouse. That man is Darryl Tapp, our defensive line coach. Let's rewind to the end of 2024. The Commanders needed help everywhere. The secondary? Rep Peters brought in Marshon Lattimore and drafted Trey Amos in the second. O-line was a dumpster fire, so we made trades and burned high picks. Wide receiver? Big-time need got dudes in. But fixing the D-line, Peters did things nobody understood. Javon Kinlaw was brought in as a free agent, but everyone doubted him. Injuries haunted his days with the Niners, and he replaced Jonathan Allen, one of our best DTs ever. Jacob Martin for Dante Fowler Jr. Really. Dietrich Wise Jr. for Clelin Ferrell. Experts called these sideways moves at best. Some said we even dropped off Dot. Now look at them now. Our defensive line is the bright spot of the entire defense. The group that took all the heat is running things. You know why? Darryl Tapp, the guy followed Peters from San Francisco, bringing years working under D'Amico Ryans, Steve Wilks, and D-line legend Chris Kukurik. Before the Niners, Tapp spent a year back at Virginia Tech, his alma mater where he starred from 2002 to 2005. Played 12 NFL seasons, racked up 165 games. One of those years, in 2013, was in Washington. The dude knows this city, this organization. He wasn't the biggest 6'1", 270 pounds, but made people respect him with grit and power. That's exactly what Tapp's brought to our D-line. Power and grit. And the results are undeniable. Of the 10 dudes who've gotten significant snaps at tackle and end this season, 9 are grading better on Pro Football Focus than last year. 9. 6 guys, including all 4 interior tackles, have grades over 10 points higher than in 2024. Darren Payne is back in Pro Bowl form. Johnny Newton keeps improving. Eddie Goldman is out here looking 25 again. Kinlaw, you know, the guy Tapp coached in San Fran, he's showing why Peters bet on him. On the edge, Dorrance Armstrong Jr. is turning into an elite rusher. Jacob Martin, no longer just a third down guy. Backups like Giovanna Jean-Baptiste and Jalen Holmes are reliable now. But check out these numbers. Last year, we were one of the worst run defenses around. This year, middle of the pack. Most important, we're giving up almost 1 full yard less per carry. We went from league bottom to top 10 in that stat. Our QB pressure rate is a little down, but it's because we're blitzing way less. Even blitzing less, we're getting better sack numbers since we can drop more dudes in the coverage dot. So let me ask, how many position coaches can do that? How many can take a bunch of cast-offs and turn them into a dominant group? I think Darryl Tapp is one of the top young defensive line minds in the entire NFL. That's real talk. Look at the Chargers game Sunday. We started sloppy, kept getting gashed by Omarion Hampton, and couldn't close down Justin Herbert. Didn't look pretty early on, but Tapp's boys hung in, fixed it on the fly, and by the end of it, we held the Chargers below their season averages for yards per play, and points. Took the ball away twice from them. That's a team averaging just one turnover a game. And LA didn't score a single point after the first quarter. Not one. Most important of all, we won. That's player development. That's high-level coaching. That's Tap going to work out, of course. Tap can't take a LL to credit. Dan Quinn deserves props for putting the system together. The players stepped up and bought in. But it's about time Commanders fans realize we've got ourselves one of the best young position coaches in the game. This dude is building something, and this is only year one. Picture this. If Tap can turn a guy like Kinlaw, who is struggling with health, into a force, what happens when Peters gets him an elite edge rusher in the draft? Or gives him another year to develop Newton and Armstrong? The sky's the limit for this D-line. And for anyone who doubted Peters' all-season moves or said we got worse, you were wrong. Peters knew exactly what he was doing bringing these guys in. He knew Tap could coach up anyone and get them to that next level. And he was right now for you. Do you think our D-line can keep playing at this level all year long? Or will we need help at the trade deadline? Because if you ask me, if we keep improving week in and week out, we're looking at one of the NFC's top defensive lines for playoff time. But all that's nothing compared to what might be coming next. Because Dan Quinn could be about to pull a move nobody sees coming. Something that could give Jaden Daniels his perfect future weapon. And it all starts with a phone call to an old friend. Remember, Quinn was the Seahawks defensive coordinator during that whole Legion of Boom run, right? 2 Super Bowls, took home 1 ring. Worked under Pete Carroll in those glory years. Those two go way back. It's deeper than football, they're tight. They've got mad respect. Now that Carroll is running things for the Las Vegas Raiders, Quinn has the perfect chance to work that connection. The Raiders are a mess. 1-4 after we smoked them a couple weeks ago. Full-on sellers at the deadline. And they've got something we could use, a stash of legit tight ends. Brock Bowers is the main event over there now, but in his shadow is Michael Mayer, a second-rounder out of Notre Dame from last year's draft. Here's Mayer's thing. His career's been hammered by injuries and bad QB play. His numbers don't pop: 54 grabs, 507 yards, 2 touchdowns. But trust me, stats aren't the whole story. There's a reason he went in the second round. Meyer is a strong athlete, deadly as a receiver when he gets a shot. He'll stick his nose in and block, too, whether it's in the run game or protecting the QB, with Bowers getting all the catches in Vegas. Meyer isn't getting the run he deserves. Doesn't mean he can't ball, though. Here's the deal for us. John Bates and Ben Sinnott are both tough blockers, no question. But they've combined for just 2 catches for 16 yards this year. 16 yards, both of them combined. That's not going to cut it. Jaden Daniels needs more dudes to throw to, especially with Terry McLaurin dinged up and Eckler gone for the whole year. Meyer could give us a jump in the pass game right away. Plus be a long-term tight end 1 option once Zach Ertz calls it quits. And the best part, his price probably won't be more than a 6th-round pick. A 6th-rounder for a former second with untapped upside? That's a steal. So what do you think? Will Quinn call up Carroll? Will Peters greenlight that trade? To me, it just makes too much sense. The Raiders need picks to rebuild. We need a tight end who can catch. Everybody wins. Just think about what Meyer could do here. Cliff Kingsbury's offense loves the tight end. Meyer over the middle gives Daniels a clutch option on 3rd and short. In the red zone, he'd be dangerous. The dude's 6'4", 260 pounds. Total nightmare for linebackers and safeties. And even crazier, Meyer is only 23. He's still on his first contract. If anybody can wake up his career, it's Quinn and Kingsbury. They've had projects before and turned them into stars. So why not Meyer? Obviously, nothing's ever a sure thing. Maybe the Raiders ask for more than Peters is willing to cough up. Maybe another team jumps in. But if there's a shot to bring in a young, versatile tight end for Daniels without giving up much, I say do it. Now. Because at the end of the day, we're actually building something here. We've got our franchise QB in Daniels. We've got a breakout RB with Krosky Merritt. We've got a defensive line playing lights out. All we really need is a couple more weapons, and Meyer could be exactly what we're missing. So here's the question. Would you rather see Peters spend a high pick on a wideout or make an affordable move for a tight end like Meyer? Which spot is the bigger emergency? I mean, we need both, but if I have to pick one, I go tight end. Daniels needs guys who can get open quick, and Meyer can be that guy. Be that guy. There you have it. 3 stories shaping our 2025 season. A 7th-round rookie signing with Nike after just 5 games. A D-line coach turning a beat-up group into a powerhouse. And a possible trade that could give Jaden Daniels a secret weapon for the future. This organization is doing things right. Adam, Peters is building the roster the right way. Dan Quinn is laying down a winning culture. The players are stepping up and going off week after week. After years of mediocrity, we finally have something to get hyped about. And here's the most important part. I need you, the most passionate fans in the NFL, to jump into this conversation. First, should Jakery Krosky Merritt stay the starter when Brian Robinson comes back? Second, is Darryl Tapp the best defensive line coach we've had in the last 10 years? Third, should we trade for Michael Meyer or wait for the draft and grab a tight end? Drop your answers in the comments. I want to hear what you think. Let me know if you're rocking with me or if you think I'm out of my mind. Because this is family. This is a community. And what makes this channel special is that we all have a voice here. If you like this video, if you learned something new, if you got as fired up as I did talking about the Commanders, hit that LIKE button. Subscribe too, because I promise there's more breaking Commanders news coming tomorrow. And you do not want to miss what's next. We're the biggest Commanders family on YouTube. We're the ones who bleed burgundy and gold every day. And together, we'll watch this team get to where we've always dreamed. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the love. And remember, hail to the Redskins.